Mount Rushmore is an iconic symbol of American history and ambition. Carved into the granite cliffs of the Black Hills in South Dakota, the monument features the 60-foot-tall faces of 4 American presidents. They are George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. The idea for this colossal project originated with historian Doane Robinson. He wanted to create a tourist attraction that would draw visitors to his home state. Robinson envisioned a tribute to legendary figures of the American West. He considered figures like Lewis and Clark, Buffalo Bill Cody, and Red Cloud. However, sculptor Gutzon Borglum, who Robinson recruited for the project, convinced him to focus on presidents. Borglum believed that presidents held a unique place in American history. He argued that their leadership had shaped the nation's destiny. Work on Mount Rushmore began in 1927 and continued for 14 years. The project faced numerous challenges. These included harsh weather conditions, funding shortages, and the outbreak of World War II. Despite these obstacles, Borglum and his team of 400 workers persevered. They used dynamite, jackhammers, and meticulous artistry to carve the presidents' likenesses into the mountainside. Borglum died in 1941, just months before the monument was completed. His son, Lincoln Borglum, oversaw the final stages of the project. Mount Rushmore was officially dedicated on October 31, 1941. It has since become one of America's most popular tourist destinations. Millions of visitors flock to the site each year. They come to marvel at the sheer scale of the monument and reflect on the legacies of the presidents depicted. The selection of the 4 presidents for Mount Rushmore was not arbitrary. It was the result of careful consideration and debate. Borglum and Robinson established a set of criteria to guide their choices. They sought presidents who had made significant contributions to the founding, development, and preservation of the United States. They also considered each president's impact on the world stage. George Washington was an obvious choice. As the nation's first president, he was instrumental in establishing the foundations of American democracy. He led the Continental Army to victory in the Revolutionary War and presided over the Constitutional Convention. Furthermore, Washington's commitment to neutrality in foreign affairs helped to shape America's early role in the world. Thomas Jefferson, the author of the Declaration of Independence, was another natural selection. As the nation's 3rd president, Jefferson oversaw the Louisiana Purchase. This doubled the size of the United States. He also commissioned the Lewis and Clark expedition, which explored the vast territory west of the Mississippi River. Jefferson's contributions to American expansion and exploration solidified his place on Mount Rushmore. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president, was chosen for his pivotal role in preserving the Union during the Civil War. Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation freed slaves in Confederate territories. His Gettysburg Address eloquently articulated the principles of liberty and equality for which the Union stood. Lincoln's leadership during one of America's most tumultuous periods cemented his status as an iconic figure in American history. Theodore Roosevelt, the 26th president, rounded out the quartet. Roosevelt was a champion of conservation. He established national parks and forests, and he worked to protect America's natural resources. He also strengthened the U.S. Navy and played a key role in the construction of the Panama Canal. These accomplishments, along with his stature as a global power, earned Roosevelt a place alongside the other 3 presidents on Mount Rushmore. The sculptor, Gutzon Borglum, intended Mount Rushmore to be more than just a monument to 4 individual presidents. He envisioned it as a testament to the ideals of democracy, leadership, and national unity that he believed these presidents embodied. Each president represented a different aspect of American history and character. Together, they formed a powerful symbol of the nation's journey from its founding to its rise as a global power. Washington, with his stoic gaze and firm jawline, represented the strength and determination of the American spirit. He was the steady hand that guided the nation through its infancy. Jefferson, with his thoughtful expression and receding hairline, symbolized the intellectual curiosity and vision that drove American expansion and exploration. He was the architect of American democracy. Lincoln, with his weary eyes and compassionate demeanor, embodied the resilience and compassion that saw the nation through its greatest crisis. He was the savior of the Union, and Roosevelt, with his rugged features and determined look, represented the energy and ambition that propelled America onto the world stage. He was the builder of a modern nation. The completion of Mount Rushmore in 1941 coincided with a pivotal moment in American history. The nation was on the brink of entering World War II. The monument served as a timely reminder of the values and principles that were at stake in the fight against fascism. The images of the four presidents carved into the heartland of America projected an image of strength and determination to the world. They served as a beacon of hope for those fighting for freedom and democracy at home and abroad. The absence of any Democratic presidents on Mount Rushmore has been a subject of debate and discussion since the monument's inception. Some argue that it reflects a bias towards Republican presidents. Others contend that it simply reflects the historical context in which the monument was created. It is important to note that the Democratic Party as we know it today did not exist when Mount Rushmore was conceived in the 1920s. The political landscape of the early 20th century was vastly different from that of today. While it is true that 3 of the 4 presidents on Mount Rushmore belonged to the Republican Party, or its predecessor, the Whig Party, it is important to remember that party affiliations were not the primary consideration in their selection. The criteria focused on leadership, impact, and contribution to the nation's history. Borglum himself was not a particularly partisan figure. He admired presidents from both parties. He even considered including Woodrow Wilson, a Democrat, on Mount Rushmore. The decision to exclude Democratic presidents from Mount Rushmore was likely influenced by a number of factors. These include the political climate of the 1920s and 30s, Borglum's own personal preferences, and the desire to create a monument that transcended partisan politics. Ultimately, the choice of presidents reflects a particular moment in American history. It is a snapshot of how a sculptor and historian viewed the nation's past and the leaders who shaped it.